content of everything.
The EU, that would be a good start.
Sorry?
Ridding ourselves with the EU would be a good start.
Personally, I don't take a stance on that question, either for or against. The very simple reason being that the same reasons that are being discussed here about the interests of giant corporate lobbies are involved in both camps. Both in the pro-Brexit camp and in the anti-Brexit camp. And I don't trust either of those camps.
The EU is the main.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think so.
And
in fact, the #1 destroyer of the environment is the United States Army. And the United States Army has a global network of power connected to its Navy, which controls the seas of the world and attempts to control the countries of the world and the trade of the world. And therefore I do not believe that the main enemy of mankind in Britain or anywhere else is the European Union. Having said that, I know you want me to take a stance alongside your view of the European Union. I am just saying to you, I will not do that because I do not believe that I should attack one enemy over and above the other enemies without at least working out some hierarchy of world power to be able to distinguish what is the main enemy and what is the subordinate enemy. And I do not believe that you leaving the European Union will result in anything else than becoming subordinate to the United States of America without any votes.
We are the bridge between the USA and Europe. We are the sensible voice between the two.
Well, we are as long as we're in the European Union.
The European
That's true.
Union is trying to suck the power out of this country.
As I have said, I'm not aiming to get involved in an argument on that question.
Absolutely.
As I said, I'm not aiming to get involved in an argument on that question because I do not believe it is justified to argue that the European Union bad and Britain as the existing state linked in with America is good. You are welcome to your own point of view.
As an independent state.
And the reason I'm saying I don't want to discuss that is because we've had 3-4 years of people arguing incessantly about the minuity of relations between Britain and the European Union. Everyone, you and I, have their opinion. I don't wish to engage at that level, at that discussion that goes on in the news every single day. I don't wish to engage in that level of discussion.
Talking about the United States, please keep on with that theme, because I'm entirely with you there. The United States
is our friend, much better friend to us than the EU.
The United States
just takes our money.
No, United States.
You see, here we have the problem.
Is not our friend.
The USA
is
our friend.
It's an ally.
The essence of the problem of your argument,
unlike the EU, which are the enemy.
the essence of the problem with the argument the gentleman is putting, and I believe to some degree will edge onto your argument, is this. It is not the United States that's the enemy. You're right.
No, the enemy. The USA is our friend.
Nor is it the European Union.
No, the EU is our enemy.
The enemy
is
to
the
quote
EU.
a phrase from history.
We are better off independent, and we will balance out the world.
But you don't want me to answer my point of view.
I can
you basically want me to stand down at the bottom and to listen to your argument.
But it's an independent.
You don't want to hear what I've got to say.
Power. I can hear what you're trying to say.
But you don't want to hear what I've got to say.
We are the balance between the two.
I heard that. You said that already.
No.
You said that 5 minutes ago.
But if that's why we've got to get out.
Do you want to keep repeating that?
No, that's why we've got to
Because
get
then we can
out.
just be family members over a dinner table and shout at each other over Brexit.
want to shout,
right?
not me.
I don't want to do that.
You're not shouting.
I'm speaking in Speaker's Corner. I've got 33 years of experience speaking here.
I'm not shouting.
That's why I'm responding to you the way I am. Because I recognise when someone has got such a fixed viewpoint that they're not prepared even to go beyond the flexible parameters of their brain.
To you, as
and the consequence of that is you will not listen to me advancing an argument.
As an independent state, we are a better...
You're repeating the same thing.
We are the balance between the USA
I'm sorry, you
and
said
the
that 5 minutes ago and 3 minutes
you're
ago.
not listening.
You've done it again now.
You're not
I
listening.
heard what you said, I can repeat it verbatim. Can you repeat what I'm going to say verbatim?
You're talking about
Can you tell me what I'm going to say?
You're talking about the power...
Can you tell me what I'm going to say? Because I can tell you what you're going to say. You're going to say Britain is a bridge between Europe and America.
It is.
America, right. So
But
now you're happy because I'm repeating what you're saying. But I
no.
know what you're saying. You don't know what I'm going to
You
say.
need a bit of
What am I going to say?
You're talking.
What am I going to say?
You need to calm
What
down.
am I going to say?
You calm down.
I'm calm.
So what am I going to say?
Repeating is
I am calm. You need
All
to
right,
calm
all right,
down.
let's deal.
Repeating
Fair deal.
is
Shake my hand.
lunatic
Shake my hand.
attitude.
Right, you have 2 minutes to say what you want to say, and then you're going to leave me
I'm
a
listening.
clear 2 minutes
Oh, not 2
without
minutes.
interruption.
I can't bear for
2 minutes.
I can't
Carry
bear for
on.
Okay,
I
1
can't
minute.
bear- 1 minute.
Carry
1
on.
minute, say what you
One
want to say.
minute.
Then I will
Carry
respond
on.
to you,
Carry
and
on.
you will respect my response, regardless of whether you agree with it or not. If you want to respond to what I
Carry on.
say,
Let's
no,
hear
I'm
you.
giving you
Let's hear
equal
you.
time,
Let's hear
just
you.
to prove
I'm
that you are
surprised
not
you're not
actually
down in
engaging
Brighton with that
in an
lot.
argument. So your 1
Jeremy
minute
Corbyn
begins.
And his lunacy.
Your 1 minute
I agree.
begins.
Well, I'm a Labour Party supporter, but I agree with
He's
you about
anti-monarchy.
Jeremy Corbyn. Oh, never mind.
Anti-British.
Please, don't talk to me about the monarchy. Please
I
do
have a
not do
stopwatch
that.
now.
Please do not do
You
that.
have 1
No,
minute
I don't
to
wanna
express
say-
your view.
I know. I want to listen to you.
1 minute.
I want to listen to you.
We
That's
can all
3
wait for 1
seconds.
minute.
I'm ready to
No,
listen
no,
to
carry
you.
on. You know about
I've
it.
told you my view. I've said that we are.
He says carry on. Just carry on then.
But as soon as I speak, you interrupt me.
I'm not. I'm listening.
Have you followed this now, the way this debate has gone?
Listen.
Winding him up, mate, you are.
So
Deliberately winding
we've
him
got
up.
24 seconds. I'm going to go
ready
to a
to
minute.
listen.
It's only 30 more seconds, because then he cannot deny that I gave him space to argue his point.
I told you my view already.
What is
I'm
it?
now
Tell everyone else.
listening to
They
yours.
didn't hear. Tell everyone else.
I've already told everybody. So now
What
we
is it?
listen to
He
this
wants to
view.
put the
Who knows what his view
He
is?
wants to put the so-called great back into Great
Yes,
Britain.
of course.
I can't bear that language, my
greatest
friend.
country
I
in
can't
the
bear
world.
it.
It's
We
his
are a
min- his
tiny
minute's running
country
out.
on
His
earth.
minute's running
Oh,
out.
we are not the greatest country in the
You've got
world.
9 seconds
Every
left.
country-
9
every
seconds
country-
left. There we go. He said it.
Every
He said
country
it.
is the greatest country in the world.
So
That's where you
everything,
are.
we got it. 1 minute. Hang on, 1
He's not
minute.
ashamed to be
He
British.
managed to repeat.
Africa-
Hang on. You've had your minute. You've had your
I'm not
minute.
ashamed of my
Hang on, he had his
Yes,
minute.
you are.
In that minute, I'm glad you noticed, he made one statement that he's made 4 times already, which was, we are the bridge between Europe and America.
Yes, you did say that. Yeah.
There are a couple of other things he said earlier, which is European Union is bad, America good. But I don't need to go into that. Now, perhaps I'll time myself just to give myself 1 minute, just to ensure that he doesn't interrupt this 1 minute, because he had a free time to say what he wanted to say. The division in the world should not be understood as a division between nations or blocks of nations, as the gentleman here is presenting it. The main divisions in the world that we need to concern ourselves with, and these affect our everyday lives. I've got 30 seconds left. Said a little bit more than you, never mind.
Go on.
The main divisions of the world are between wealth and power. Wealth and power.
Oh, you can't
They
deny
are
that.
universal
You can't deny that.
and ubiquitous
Even in this
divisions.
country.
They are divisions which exist
in the
in
palace,
America,
where the hell the
in
palace?
Britain, in Europe, within the countries of Europe, in Germany, in France. All the countries of the world have fundamental divisions of wealth and power. And the rulers who claim to rule, I've gone over a minute, you want me to carry on?
Carry on, yes, carry on.
And 1 more minute.
1 more minute.
This is a communist in action.
The rulers of the world, I give you an example. According to Oxfam last year, 8 people own more wealth than half of the world's population. According
fact.
to the British,
Fact.
what is it called?
Communist.
No, it's not.
Yes, he is a
It's a fact.
communist.
Never
My
mind
friend, my
communist
friend,
or
my
capitalist.
friend.
It's a fact. It is a fact.
Hang on,
fact.
hang
I
on,
know
hang
that.
on.
It's a fact. It is a fact. I read,
The gentleman-
I read that myself.
Is that your banner?
It's not my banner, no.
Let's see
We
your
had a meeting about that. So, as far as I am concerned, the central question for us that you need to ask when you see any television program, when you see the news, when you see Brexit, no Brexit, when you see American power, when you see bombing of oil stations in Saudi Arabia, is who is involved amongst the elite and who is served by what particular policies. I asked the same question. Yes, but who rules Britain? Who?
No, he's talking about the
So I'm asking you this. I said earlier, just to repeat, I do not believe you should look at political, economic, military life from a national standpoint. You have to look at it from the standpoint of the oppressed, the rulers, the capitalists, the petty capitalists, the different social strata within society. And when I do that, when I say, look at the world from the standpoint of the poorest people on earth, and you have a different view of the world than if you look at it from the richest people on earth. We are asked, however, we are asked by the media and by the politicians to look at the view from the national point of view. And when they say the national point of view, they mean the point of view of the rulers of the country.
Point of view.
They mean the largest 150 companies in Britain, which rule Britain by the owners, by the banks, by the billionaires. They rule the society. And then they say, they are the nation. And then they pretend that you are the nation, that you have decided, that you chose on a ballot paper once every 5 years what should happen in British society. That is a myth. And it's a myth even in the most democratic countries in the world. Yes, exactly, exactly. In Germany they have a slogan. I agree with it. It says, the borders in this world are not drawn between one nation, the people of one country and another. The borders in this world are between those above and those below. Those are the real divisions in the world. Now you can call me a communist for saying that if you like. I do not care if you call me a communist. That is Jeremy Corbyn's brother, not me.
You're speaking like Jeremy Corbyn.
Well, he and I happen to agree on those questions.
I wouldn't be surprised, but he's anti-British for a start.
What?
He's anti-British.
What do you mean by British?
I've heard.
How much property do you own?
Enough.
How much?
Enough. Not much. Enough.
You got a house?
Yes.
What's that?
Are you questioning a man what property he owns?
Because if he doesn't own property, he's a homeless
Listen, if you're a
person
man of stature,
controlling the country.
If you're a man of stature that has
Does a homeless person control Britain?
Yes.
How?
Because it belongs to Britain.
My friend, what do you mean he belongs to Britain?
Yeah, because he was born and raised here.
Go across the road here.
Yes,
You'll
I
see
will.
homeless
And
people
I'll
sleeping
feed the
on the
rest.
street.
Go on, let's
or
see your
sleeping
point.
across the park here. There are plenty sleeping in tents. How do they control Britain?
But you do. With your little what?
I didn't say I control
With your
Britain.
little what?
I didn't say
You
I
got
control.
small
I
community.
didn't say I control.
You need the mass majority. And you will never have that. You know why? Because
never
we
have it for what?
believe in humanity.
All
All equal.
Humanity, what are you talking about?
Well, you're going on like, oh, you got the rich view.
I'm saying the view of someone staying in the Dorchester Hotel
I wanna be
will be
rich.
different from the view of
am
someone
rich.
staying in the Salvation Army hostel.
No, not necessarily.
I'm afraid it will. I'm afraid it will.
No.
I didn't say. I'm not saying the poor people have a lower mental capacity.
You can
On
never
the
say that. You
contrary-
can never say
on the
that.
contrary,
All your brilliance
money,
in TV
the more
comes from
money you
dyslexia
have,
people.
the more likely you are to lose
Your
sanity.
brilliance that you see
The
on
more
TV.
money you have, the more likely you are to lose sanity. For the very simple reason, that money and power are closely interconnected together.
How?
Once you begin to employ large numbers of people,
is
you
the
begin
divide
to have a mindset whereby money dominates your human relations. And as a consequence of that, you tend to acquire a conscious. Look at this guy Epstein. He wasn't just one man on his own.
Poor but rich in
There's an
mind.
entire army of these people.
We can be
right,
poor but
who
rich in
lose
mind.
all connection to human morality. And the consequence of that is that in
Not
spite
living
of
in
claiming
England. Not
to be
living in England.
representatives of the
we
nation,
conquered democracy.
most of the billionaires have the most
Not living in
peculiar
England.
psychological disturbances to their brain. Look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk.
What rubbish?
Wanna
Why
make a
should
comment?
somebody?
Wanna make a
Why
comment?
should somebody just because they made a few quid be mentally
I
disturbed?
didn't say all of them. I said,
Rubbish. Rubbish. No.
I explained why I argued the point. Did you follow what I said? So what was the argument? What was the reason for the argument I gave? What was the argument I gave? No, I'm just asking
saying
because
you've
you
got
say
you've got a
you know
contradiction.
what my argument was. So what was my argument? It's on video. Tell us.
Sounding very aggressive.
What was it?
I
What
am
was my
for
argument?
humanity.
What was my argument? We're not interested in that. What was my argument?
So, hold on a minute, ladies and gentlemen.
About the madness of billionaires.
Remember what I'm going to say right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just
It's on video, don't
because
worry. It's on
I'm going
video.
to forfeit his question. Watch what he said. Oh, here goes another one who ain't had a fucking monkey. But guess what?
What was the argument?
Sir, enlighten us. Remind us of your headline.
You knew it. You followed what
No,
I
no,
said,
no.
didn't you?
Yes, I mean...
It wasn't difficult to
Remind
follow, was
us.
No, it wasn't difficult.
But you claimed it was stupid,
Well, no,
and yet you don't know what it was.
Stupidity
But it's a
gets me
simple
angry.
If you claim something
Anger makes me
stupid,
physical.
and you don't know what it
I
is,
physical.
it says something about you.
I'm a different caliber. I'm not from your background.
What is wrong with somebody owning
No,
property?
you see, again, I didn't have any problem with people owning it. When did I say
You
that?
asked me what I owned.
Because
What's it
you
got to do with
said,
anything?
you
What's it got to do with
said,
anything?
you said the country. So I said, how much of the country
This
do
is
you
a
own?
fantastic city.
And
this is the
My
fantastic
friend,
It is a great city. No one
do
can
you own?
deny that. It's a great city.
What do I own?
Yeah, we fucking own the whole of
I'm
everything.
gonna fucking now explain.
No.
Now you're
What
gonna
do you own?
fucking
This?
listen.
You own that?
England and America own the fucking world.
And are you England?
I was born and bred in East London.
So are you England?
I'm English.
You may be English.
Bangladeshi English.
Bangladeshi English. So in your passport it will say,
What's your point?
subject of the Queen.
God
other
save the
words-
fucking
in other words,
Queen. One human
you may
being.
be
What about the
born
rest of the
English.
fucking humanity?
That may make you
Monarchy,
English.
hierarchy.
It does not mean you control or own anything.
So are you saying...
It doesn't mean you own anything.
Are you saying...
So in other words,
You're English and you're safe.
sorry?
Is that what you're saying?
It's been
You're
on the
English
road for more than
and you're
60
safe
years.
from the rest of the world.
Holds the
Please
balance
don't
between the loonies of the left.
The gentleman here, at least he's got some
No,
arguments.
don't give me gentlemen, don't give me
At least you
phone.
got some arguments.
Listen, I'm not a
They
bad
may be a bit
video.
confused,
I wanna
but
ask
you
you
got
something.
some arguments.
You're English and you're safe. Is that the fucking motto?
English and what?
And you're safe.
Safe.
All right, have that.
Safe from what?
I don't know, you asked me.
I didn't say safe.
Yeah, so what?
Never
So
mind.
you're here to demolish.
Well, okay, it doesn't matter.
If you are ashamed
No, don't get all friendly.
No, that wasn't that. It was someone else putting someone
I
out.
was putting the point across.
The simple point
You're
is
not
this.
English or
Simple point is
American.
this. You come from
and if you're not,
Bangladesh.
then you
Yeah.
should leave.
Sorry,
No,
no,
did you
no,
know?
no,
Did you
no.
know?
And you're ashamed of our monarchy.
Right, London.
Did you know?
Of a situation that
Did you
allows
know?
people to sleep homelessness while the
Then
Queen...
go and sleep on the streets.
Right,
No,
no,
she's
that's
not a
London.
Don't tell me that's right. Don't tell me that's right.
Now, hold on a
I
minute.
ask you this.
While people
Yeah,
go
I
hungry.
am
While people go hungry.
1943.
As a man from the moon comes
Order!
You should be proud
Order! We're going to prorogue
what
you.
she's done
Oh,
for
don't
this
get me going.
country.
Please
Since
don't
you've been
talk.
sitting on
I
the
told
throne
you,
since
do not talk about the
1942.
family. I've been getting it.
Well,
I'm agreeing with him.
In 1943, West Bengal, my friend, this is for you. My friend, this is for you. This is for you.
Go on, let me hear your point.
1943.
I'm always about
Hang on,
history. I want
hang
to
on.
know. Always about
Excuse me.
history.
You had a minute, you had nothing to say. You had a minute, you had nothing to say. Now you want to scream and shout.
No.
This guy here.
I'm speaking, mate, on a platform.
We are here
33
to
years.
learn.
33 years, mate.
You're
Now
not
you
here.
say.
There are the working classes. There is nothing wrong with the working classes.
1943, my friend. A little bit of history for you.
British Bangladesh.
You can don't tell your kids. 1943. 3 million people in Bengal were starved to death by the British.
So you're ashamed to be British as
Now,
well, are you?
in those circumstances, knowing about that, do you think that was a good thing? Do you think that was a good thing? To starve the Bangladesh?
I'm proud of our royal family. And of course I am. Why should I not be proud of our royal family?
Hey, who's talking to you?
She's done a fantastic job.
We're talking here.
Well, you want to talk
Yeah.
about history?
Yes, I said Bengal.
She's in her
Hang on, shut up! Shut up! You want to get all that? Go over there, mate.
No.
There's some Christians over there who can argue with you.
communist. If you're not proud of our royal
Gentlemen
family,
here, West Bengal, because we got your face on camera. You have to, in your Whitechapel, your community, some of them will see this video. So even though you're drunk, you'd be wise to think what you're saying now, right? West Bengal, I know, to sober up. West Bengal, 3 million people died of starvation under the leadership of Winston Churchill. Now, in those circumstances, thinking back, when you talk to your family, your friends, your children, your grandparents, some of whom may remember those times, do you now take the stance? Britain good, Bangladesh bad.
You are not
Is that where you
you're
stand?
Viking.
Is that where you stand? Is that where you stand?
You're not a Saxon. You're a
So in
Viking.
other words, if I fall here, the gentleman just said, I'll repeat what he said with his enraged Dominic Cumberbatch eyes.
You talk about my background and
proud to be British.
You try to grab me on my intellect. Let's get
You look like a gargoyle, my
We're all
friend,
late
hanging from
here.
your minster.
Man, I don't think that.
It's like a gargoyle.
take yourself over to the European Union and go and have a little rabbit's tail.
Oh, Tommy Robinson's buddy.
Here we go.
You're not his buddy.
Boring.
You're not his buddy. Why is he your buddy? What does it matter if you're someone said to me, he said Jeremy Corbyn's buddy. I said, yeah, no
Jeremy
problem.
Corbyn is a
He
communist.
doesn't want to claim he's Tommy Robinson's buddy
A
anymore.
communist who's ashamed of his British
Not a
roots.
communist.
He is a communist.
There's an interview I did with him online,
I'm not
25 minutes, where I
surprised you did
discussed
an interview
it
with him.
with
You
him.
have the same
I
views.
could be accused of being a Marxist. Jeremy Corbyn is not a Marxist.
What is he then?
Sorry? He's a social democrat on the left.
Social
communist.
What's wrong with
That's what you say, because your brain cells are limited, limited in their capacity to flexibly understand reality. Don't get so upset about it then. What? Don't get so upset about it then. If there's no chance Corbyn's ever going to come to power,
Why do you hate communists?
he's leader of the Labour
Why
Party.
do you hate communists?
Communist is very destructive.
If there's no
It would
chance,
destroy this country.
how's he destructive?
Jeremy Corbyn will ever be
And
prime
you know what the worst thing
Yes,
is?
good for
He's
you.
supposed to represent the working
He's bachelor
classes.
tired.
He doesn't. He represents the
why they're
left-leaning
preparing a new
metropolitan
deputy
elite, all university educated, who know nothing about real life. And here's a good example of one.
So you see, this is the problem
Can I sit on it?
with debates in Britain today. Is there are large numbers of people who are so fixated in their interests, not in their mind, not in their mental flexibility. Oh, you're representing the working class?
Yes.
All right. A minute ago you had loads of property. Now you're the working class.
I might own my own home. Doesn't mean I can't represent the
How
working
much you
classes.
own? I asked you, you didn't answer.
No, because I don't need to answer.
You're the working
None
class.
of your business.
How did you
I
become
represent
the
the working
representative?
class.
How did you become the
I have
representative?
more in common with the working class.
How did you become their representative?
I'm more in common with the working class. It's not like you.
So that makes you their representative. That makes you... I didn't claim to be a representative. He did. I'm standing for what I think. You can choose whether you think that represents this or that. I'm not claiming to be the representative. My friend. I didn't say it, he said it, not me. You're not even following again. Have another whiskey, you might follow. Have another double. Now, where were we? My essential contention, which some people have seemed to be questioning, was this. I argue.
How your crew came about.
Now listen to it. You must listen to this.
He's a lunatic.
I didn't hear.
Like yourself. If you think Jeremy Corbyn...
What the fuck are you doing for an hour listening to a lunatic in Hyde Park? What are you doing for an hour listening to a lunatic in Hyde Park? Unless you're attracted to lunacy.
They were bloody religious.
Are you attracted to lunacy?
I probably am, actually.
Well then good. At least that's an admission. Well, the central contention is quite simple. It's not a complicated idea. It is that we are ruled by people who claim to be nationalists for the country, who claim to be representing all of our interests, and I tell you, they do not. They represent the interests of the wealthy and powerful. Now that is not to say that everybody who's wealthy is a lunatic, nor is it to say everybody who's poor is perfectly sane, nor is it to say that everyone who's poor is brilliant, or everyone who's rich is an idiot. It is instead of that to say there is a tendency in this world that the wealthier you are, the more likely you are to use the nation as a sounding board for your interests. That's why you get people like Donald Trump, a multi-billionaire, standing to be president,
Representing the
right?
working class
And
in the
becoming
USA.
president. That's why you get elites from Oxford, Cambridge, Eton, Harrow, dominating politics, even though they only come from less than 0.1% of the world, of the British population. So therefore they have a propensity to be bound to particular interest groups which dominate the wealth and power in society. That therefore leads me, that is I believe an objective analysis of the way the world works, it leads me to analyse the world based on an analysis of class interests rather than based on analysis of national interests. And I believe the first step to misunderstanding the world is to start from the national analysis. That is guaranteed to land you in the sewer that Britain has been landed in mentally for the last 4 years, where everybody argues Brexit, European Union, Brexit, which is where we started this meeting, and where this gentleman will repeat, like Pavlov's dog,
Taking our taxpayers' money and
spewing out the bullshit, which he's been told to spew out by the English national bourgeoisie. I do not believe that is the method of analysis that provides any type of understanding to the world or of the world today. So what? He's a dupe member of the working class, if that's the case. And I have tried for the last period to undupe this gentleman. And I believe, because of my experience of speaking at Speaker's Corner for 33 years, and knowing how people respond and behave, the fact that this gentleman has stayed in the meeting, I guarantee you, when you watch YouTube over the next few months, he will be back in this meeting quite often. And if he doesn't come back, it's only because I've said it. Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. See you another time.
What I wanted to talk about sometimes.
We have no education at all, one like this one here.
It's cheaper. Like research to show,
Can't take away everything from your humanity. Come, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
Communist, poisonous. No. I don't care about your brother or not. He's scary. He's anti-British. I don't want to meet him, thank you very much. He's a loony left. No, I don't. He's on the loony left. What, the loony left?